All right, we are on the play in match 4 of this league with Rug Delver. That smells like a keep. Vapor Snag being our, well, okay, to be fair, Tarmogoyf is almost certainly our best card against aggro here, but Vapor Snag being our best removal in this hand makes us look kind of soft to aggro. We are probably going to end up going Fetch Shock. Maybe there's actually an argument to grab an island and then Stomping Ground, even though I do want double red in this build, just so that we're not taking as much damage. That's something I probably would have done something like, I want to say 4 to 6 months ago. I was shocking very conservatively. Maybe a little longer than that. I remember going a lot of Island, Stomping Ground, and Steam Vent's Forest hands. Sacred Foundry out of the opponent into a Lightning Bolt doesn't really tell us what they're on, but it does tell us that we should probably just slam this. I guess we could play it on 3 with Pierce up. I guess since we have the Spell Pierce, we may as well. It could still get pushed. Sacred Foundry means they probably aren't playing Liliana of the Veil. Could get taken by a discard spell if we're up against Mardu. If it's burn, we definitely just want to slam it. We also don't really want to crack this to play the Visions because it's our green source. I'm going to play Tarmogoyf. If they have the removal, they have the removal. I'm going to grab a Forest since we drew that Steam Vent. Sulfur Falls, Jeskai, and we untapped. Mana Leak. Do I want just everything up? Let's pay Shock here. Our life total is definitely going to matter. We can grow this Goyf by casting Serum Visions. I really want to have at least one of these up. Maybe both. They're going into turn 3. I don't think Jeskai has many interesting proactive plays on turn 3, so if we counter a removal spell, we're probably happy. Backup Goyf is just really good for us. Let's get in for 4. I don't think we're going to play that out since we've got those 2 counter spells. Anything that's not named Supreme Verdict, we're pretty good against. Playing out the Goyf is just even worse against Supreme Verdict. They didn't have a turn 2 play. Island for the opponent, and they pass. We could Vapor Snag our Goyf here. That is the reason the game's giving us priority. I don't think I care to cast that Visions. Maybe I do. I kind of want to protect the Goyf and counter a spell, though. If that's just Path, we play Goyf. We don't have Leak up. That's a little disappointing. We're not piercing this. I guess we could Leak this, have Pierce up. That's not bad. I like not playing the Visions until after combat. That seems good. Spell Snare, Spell Pierce, Leak of your own. What do we got? Remand on Path, I assume. Remand on Path. We're going to blow our counter spells and just stop that nonsense. Now, I'm going to hope the Jeskai deck is not on Nahiri, but they might be. I guess we could have also just pierced the Path. Doesn't really matter. That was a good spot, actually. Is that even relevant if this was a denial? Because the same thing would have happened. We denial the Path. They did not have an untapped land. Oh, they have Snap Path. Well, we get an island, and we are definitely getting an island here. Are we? We don't need double green, and I don't think triple red is a big issue. Let's grab an island. The opponent's at 10. That's a start. What do we got? Goyfs. 4 days. Let's cast Visions. Find those threats and those burn spells. I actually kind of want Forked Bolt. We're going to play Tarmogoyf here. Pyromancer can come down next turn when we have a burn spell to go with it. Maybe. Do I even want to slam the Pyromancer next turn? I don't know if that's good. If Snapcaster Mage attacks, we just take it in the mouth. Playing Pyromancer pre-combat is a little awkward. Maybe I just want to cast Forked Bolt here. I guess that's a little awkward too. I'm playing around Cryptic Command with the whole pre-combat, post-combat casting of spells thing. If they bounce Tarmogoyf and counter a spell, I'm gonna feel bad. Actually, if they go to bounce Tarmogoyf and counter a spell, bounce Tarmogoyf, draw a card, it wouldn't actually be that bad to Vapor Snag the Tarmogoyf just so they don't get to draw. Okay, we attack. They block with Snapcaster Mage. A burn spell is probably in my future to deal with that Goyf. If we cast PZ, I assume it's getting hit by a Cryptic Command, which means Goyf doesn't get to attack anyways. We probably just put a Goyf down with the rest of the mana. That doesn't seem awful. PZ doesn't actually seem that great here, though, right? Because we go PZ with the Steam Vents in the island so we can Goyf if necessary. And then say that resolves. That's the good scenario. We Forked Bolt the Snapcaster Mage, making a token. I guess that's the same. We don't get to put our Goyf back down, but we have a Pyromancer in play, which isn't the worst. We're going to go for that. I do want to Forked Bolt this. I think I want to try to put Pyromancer down first. I guess them tapping out to bounce Tarmogoyf isn't the worst. At least we just get to put it back down. This a standard counter spell? It is. That's fine. I'm just going to try to get some damage in here. Swing with the Goyf. Damage happened. That's good. Lightning Bolt on top of our deck puts them at essentially, that's not how you pronounce that word, essentially two burn spells. Burn spells at my face. Teferi. Are we activating Field of Ruin? No, we're not. We tapped it for mana. 3, 4. Is it Teferi? We are tapping lots of things, and I don't know what's going on. We're tapping lands, and we're untapping lands. Nahiri, you got it. I just don't care about Nahiri, right? The opponent has little enough life that I just want to basically murder them. I think the line is Pyromancer plus Bolt. That way, if they ever fetch, Vapor Snag on any creature is lethal, which seems nice. 1, 2. Let's leave that Vapor Snag up just in case. Hoping the opponent doesn't have Snare or Dispel. Well, that bit happened. That bit happened. Alright. If they make a land drop, they can animate Colonnade. We might be able to poke them for 1 with that elemental token, though. Now that I think about it, animating Colonnade is a very good way for us to get a Vapor Snag target. So let's not be super concerned with that. That's back to the good scenario kind of things. If they have Cryptics to stall us out here, a bunch of removal spells, Helix is something I'm worried about. Well, I'm actually going to bounce that to deny them life gain. Do you have a counter opponent? It's not a Cryptic. Well, they might have a Cryptic, but I don't care at this point. Because they can't cast it at this very moment. If they play another blue source, they could theoretically cast it. Vapor Snag doing work as not removal spell. Granted, if Vapor Snag was a bolt effect, they would almost certainly be dead right now, so that's not super relevant. We get a token. That fizzles. The Pyromancer dying, not super important. The opponent gaining 3 life, very relevant. Burn spell on a token, 3 mana Electrolyze. That's good for them. Snapcaster Mage and burn spells are lethal. They're not paying shock. If they paid shock there, I'd be pretty happy. Okay, we're going to hold on to that land because Faithless Looting is in the deck. I kind of want to play both of these creatures, but I'm also thinking maybe they found Supreme Verdict by now. And that means we have to find Burn Spell or Snapcaster Mage to cast Burn Spell, and we need them to not have a counter for when we play it. And this is going to kill us in 3 turns. So we've got 3 turns to close out this game. They animate this, which means Tarmogoyf takes multiple turns. They don't know about that Tarmogoyf, so there's at least something of an argument to play the Pyromancer by itself. But I think that's really bad when they have this Colonnade kicking around. So I dare say Pyromancer's not being cast here. Actually, discarding this to a Faithless Looting so that we can go loot, and then we still have 3 lands. So loot, find land, and traverse. Or I guess keep land and the traverse that we find. Loot, traverse, play land, snap bolt. That might be relevant. I want to play this Tarmogoyf because we do need pressure. It at least trades with Colonnade. Well, no, it doesn't strictly trade with Colonnade. It eats Colonnade, which is something I like. If we play out the Pyromancer, how bad is it for us if they have the Supreme Verdict? We no longer have anything. But if we don't play the Pyromancer, it's just looting fodder. And I don't think looting fodder is that important. And before I get punished for playing out the Pyromancer, we're going to make them have it. They haven't had it yet. We're going to hope they don't find it in a timely manner. Go to you, opponent. Go to you. If they do have Verdict, it means there's a good chance that a Bolt resolves. So there you go. We're actually just baiting the opponent into casting their Verdict so that we can bolt them for lethal here. Discard Sulfur Falls. Nahiri's pretty good. Path, Verdict, Helix, Helix. Well, that means we dodged Verdict. That's also quite bad because they're back up to 5. They tapped the Colonnade as opposed to the Sacred Foundry for their white source, which I think is mildly suspect. Nope, it's perfectly fine. We're going to get a land out of our deck. What do we got? Serum Visions. Let's start there. Forked Bolt. And we're going to find the other burn spell. I'm not going to fire off the Forked Bolt yet. I know untapping, or sorry, letting them untap means they might have Cryptic up to protect Nahiri. But if we don't find the burn spell, Snapcaster Mage, or Traverse to close out the game next turn, and we have a lot of mana, so I'm assuming if we do find it, we're going to be able to do it. If we don't get there, I want to try to take out Nahiri because maybe, just maybe, we find a Tarmogoyf instead. And we're going to hope that we bridge the gap just enough. Chances are we don't because they can always chump block Goyf with Colonnade. Nahiri actually did a lot of work here. I'm thinking maybe I should have killed it. I don't think Nahiri actually took out any of our creature Snapcaster Mage, so we just go for it, right? Do we need to put this land into play? They've showed us Remand so far. If they have Cryptic, we're going to end up taking out Nahiri, I think, or at least trying to. Let's start by pointing this over here. Pay red. Alright, so that worked. Snapcaster Mage. If they have Remand, they just remand the Lightning Bolt, so that doesn't matter. If they have Cryptic Command, nothing matters, so I'm just going to cast this. Pretend we have a counter spell. They're going to go for it anyways if they have it, obviously, because not doing so means death. But, you know, they didn't counter Snapcaster Mage. Then again, doesn't matter with Cryptic anyways, but if it's Remand, this is the window for the opponent. Who wins, opponent? Who wins? We do. Look at that. Alright. Jeskai Nahiri. Basilisk Collar is staying way out of here. Although, actually, This gets us out of Emrakul range, but we still sacrifice 6 permanents, right? We're definitely still dead. Damping Sphere EE against Jeskai. It's 4 cards, because I want to board out the Vapor Snags and the Dismembers. It's Alpine Moon. That's the one. We are playing Alpine Moon, first time ever in the 60. We're going to try turning off Colonnades. That's what it's here for. Normally, Dismember does that kind of thing, but I think Alpine Moon's a bit better than Dismember here. You can play it proactively, so you don't have to wait for them to animate Colonnade. It doesn't cost you 4 life against another deck that very much wants to finish you off via life total. It's an enchantment, so if they do counter it, Goyf gets bigger. I think it's got Spunk. We're going to try winning some counter wars, playing grindy threats that gain us some life. And do we need to explain why we're playing Snapcaster Mage in the first place, and then, in addition to that, against a mid-range or control deck? It's a good card. Alright, what do we got here? So we have 24 cards that transform Delver. That's fine, because it's almost certainly eating a bolt. Let's give this a go. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? We're down 3 minutes on clock, but I'm hoping that doesn't matter. 3 lands and Traverse. Alpine Moon and Stubborn Denial don't look good in this hand, but I think we're going to keep. We got Land, Creature, Instant, pretty likely to hit the bin at some point. I wonder if you're supposed to cut a non-zero amount of burn spells against Jeskai. I think I would need another card in the sideboard for the matchup for that. I don't think Vapor Snag and Dismember are better than Burn Spell. Maybe. Maybe just additional ways to stall or answer Colonnade. Colonnade is worth it. I don't know. They're passing here. We're going to fetch. We have pick of the litter in terms of what lands we get. So we're going to go Stomping Ground. We're going to get the Stomping Ground eventually. Mandrills. Well, that changes the way I want to sequence my cards. That means next turn I would like to slam a nice healthy Mandrills if possible with Denial up. That'd be nice. I also kind of want to cast Pyromancer here. Just make them use some removal. Maybe we don't. Is that crazy? Because we know this dies, right? So maybe we play it a few turns later. But getting it in the bin is good for Mandrills. We're going to have a second card thanks to the Misty. I guess we could delve away all the lands. Just fetch, fetch, fetch. Is that absurd? Makes Traverse worse. I guess just eating the Pyromancer makes Traverse worse as well, given that a lot of our threats are going to get answered by Path. So maybe we just hold on to the Pyromancer? Maybe we hold on to the Pyromancer. Or, idea. I have an idea. We're going to grab the Stomping Ground. Because I want lots and lots of red mana. Pyromancer dying means we can delve away the Pyromancer if we choose, in addition to the lands, which means we can have Denial up if we please. They're going to opt. That's a-okay. They didn't crack the Flooded Strand. Someone's looking for lands. Someone found lands. Well, they found land, duh. Don't know the rest for certain. I assume Pyromancer doesn't make it through the night here. 2 mana, snap opt, click. Oh, that makes me a little sad. I like my hand, opponent. They take Bolt, right? Just keep click going. Maybe Mandrills. Bolt or Mandrills. Traverse? I don't think so. Alpine Moon doesn't seem good enough to take here. Alpine Moon is basically a card. It's here because it's already in our sideboard, and I think it's marginally better than the 4 cards I want to cut. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Never played it against manlands. Never actually played it. I have literally not cast the card. They are thinking. Maybe they take Denial? They took Bolt and we found a land. That makes me a little sad. Delver. I was very honestly hoping to just find another bolt. Here's the deal. I don't hate making this trade. I don't love it. I like that it makes mandrills a bit better. Down the line, at least. Huh. What are we going to do here? I don't think I bother playing that Alpine Moon until I see a Colonnade. Does it matter? They're not playing any utility lands as far as I know. Then again, we just don't need to play it yet. Resolving it while they don't have counters up is nice, though. The land loses abilities. I assume that means it loses the enters tapped clause. Okay, so if we swing with this, they almost certainly trade. Are they going to race us? Jeskai does have a lot of removal and burn. That's possible. I don't want to play mandrills out while Pyromancer is still on board. I'd be willing to play out the Delver. I'm going to swing here. If they trade, they trade. If they don't, well, they don't. If they don't trade, we're playing out Delver. If they do trade, I might be willing to play a Mandrills. What land did we draw? It's not going to tell us. I'm 90% certain it was the Flooded Strand. I don't think I rearranged these. So, yeah, we only had the one Flooded Strand in our hand. Play that. Play this. Keep that Misty handy for some Delver Scry. The Flooded Strand is probably going to sit in our hand until we find Huntmaster or Faithless Looting. Oh, good reason to not play Alpine Moon. Faithless Looting is in our deck. Play it out if they have Colonnade. Don't if they don't. Cryptic Command mana now up. We're going to take 3 here. The opponent is in race game. They know that we have Denial, so I don't think they're going to go for a Cryptic here. That seems pretty bad. Delver, you want to share with the class? It's a Lightning Bolt? I dare say we should share with the class. We're going to swing here, right? There's literal no reason not to. If they have Snap, they don't even have a Bolt in their graveyard. Bolt, Snap, Bolt, maybe? Now, good question. Do we want to race or take out Click? They're going for the Cryptic. Oh, it's Resto. It is Resto. Can't counter that. I cannot counter that. That blinks Click. They get to double block if they like. If we bolt the Click to not let them take probably Mandrills out of our hand, Delver dies. I'm probably okay with that. I think we're going to do this. Do I want to tap this one instead and play Mandrills off of this? No. Maybe. Just maybe. They have a lot of stuff on board too. Well, they have Restoration Angel. I guess that's not a lot of stuff. We're going to do that. I think I'd rather they have a Resto than they take Mandrills out of our hand. I'm assuming Mandrills is the card they take. Maybe they trade with Pyromancer here? That's possible. Oh, is this a Dismember? No, they took it? Why did they take it? I don't know why they took it. Maybe they just wanted to use the Restoration Angel to force us to bolt the Click? I don't know. I'm going to try to play a bit faster, though. We don't have a creature in the bin, so I'm not happy to cast that Traverse. I'm going to pass the turn here. We might take 3 and then see a Verdict. We're probably going to crack the Misty on their end step, grab a Breeding Pool because we can. We may as well not grab a basic. There's not really an upside to grabbing a basic, and it might matter having double green thanks to that Breeding Pool over a basic island. Land for the opponent. Land 5 here for the opponent. Cryptic? Nahiri. Nahiri resolves. Okay, so they're just going to try to stay alive long enough. That's their game plan here. But if Resto's just blocking anyways, I guess they were happy to take the hit there and make sure Resto can block for Nahiri. I don't know. Let's crack this. We get to poke them for a minimum of 1. I would have been much happier if we had an instant that wasn't a counter spell to make an extra token off that Pyromancer. That's bad. Waiting on you, Faithless Looting. Waiting on you. I don't know exactly what we're doing here, but I think we just swing both at Nahiri and lose the Aberration. Maybe that's bad. Maybe that's bad. We can... If we play out Mandrill, Supreme Verdict is really bad for us. But is there a world in which Supreme Verdict isn't really bad for us? If we don't swing, things look bad. If we do swing, they block Aberration with this, and it doesn't even matter that they have Verdict. I guess I could swing and then play the Mandrills. Maybe that's the play. This is going to eat Aberration. We don't have an answer to this, which makes me kind of want Dismember over Alpine Moon right now. Yeah, Dismember would have looked really good this game. So I guess if you know they have Restoration Angel, Dismember's a lot better. I think I'm going to not swing and just play out Mandrills. Kind of want to leave that Bolt in there, so I think we're going to grab an island, fill up our graveyard a touch. If they swing for 3 and then Verdict, I'm going to be sad, but I don't think there's much we can do against that line. Do I want double blue up? They might have Remand in conjunction with something. 1, 2, 3, 4. Traverse looking really bad right now. I'm actually considering playing a land over Traverse because getting to 3 mana is a lot more important with Pyromancer and Looting in the deck. This game, it obviously, well, this match so far, our lands have been very nice to us. So, right now, sample size is saying don't bother with land number 19. Notable that both cards really suck right now. Traverse, not doing anything, because we have not seen a sorcery this game. And Nahiri's going to tick up, that's fine. Basic land, or even fetch land, not doing much either. I guess we'd have an extra land in the bin, that's relevant. That makes Traverse a little bit better, which we're not playing because we have that land. We're probably going to Alpine Moon that soon. What do we got? Land. Alright, so Faithless Looting is looking very important at the moment. I'm going to cast this. We're definitely attacking with Mandrills. Okay, it is named Celestial Colonnade. That's handy. That was a lot easier than I expected. Alright. Maybe we shouldn't play that pre-combat. I am going to swing at Nahiri. Yeah, they might have had Cryptic. That was a bad choice. We shouldn't have played that pre-combat. That would have forced our hand on the Stubborn Denial, which isn't necessarily relevant, but you know, maybe they have Dispels at this point. I assume the opponent drawing a random card is better for us than them countering this Alpine Moon, because I think Celestial Colonnade is probably better on this board than a random card. You know what? Everybody is attacking Nahiri. If they take out Delver, that's probably okay enough, knock on wood. And if they choose to block Mandrills here, we still get to take out Nahiri. We're going to hope that Denial does enough work to get us through this. 2. I don't think they have any straight 2-mana blue-white spells. Snapcaster Mage to trade with Elemental. Also lets the opponent opt, which isn't bad. They could opt into something like a Path. We try to Denial it, and maybe they have Negates in their deck post-board. I think Jeskai boards in Negates. 3 mana. Electrolyze. Electrolyze. We're gonna try to counter that. Don't counter my Denial, please. We have, what, these 2 cards they don't know about? They brought in Dispel. Alright, we're gonna be sad. They get to draw a card. We're gonna hope it's not the one named Path to Exile. They block with Resto and then Nahiri eats Mandrills. Or they do that. Okay. That makes me feel like they have another Nahiri. I kind of want to play this land to have a better chance of traverse, but we can always do that next turn, so that's fine. It did lose the enter the battlefield tapped clause, so that's relevant. Waiting until the opponent plays out their colonnade means they don't get a rainbow land on the turn they play it. I'm going to really pick up the pace here because I'm assuming we're going to game 3. It smells like Jeskai stabilized. I don't know their hand. I do know our hand. It's not great. Us. You know what? I can't do anything. 6. They don't know I can't do anything, but I'm just going to, you know, expedite that a touch. Steam Vents comes down. We draw a card. It's the best one in the deck. I did say it was the best one in the deck, didn't I? That's going to turn on Traverse. We found looting and 2 lands. We're going to bin 2 lands. Hold on to that looting. We cannot traverse into a Tarmogoyf. We're definitely racing. We just grabbed Tarmogoyf, right? Is Snapcaster Mage better in any universe right now? We can get Tarmogoyf. We can't get the basic force. We actually can't get any more green sources. I probably shouldn't have tapped this. We can get a Goyf for next turn, which isn't a big deal. That's not very good. Getting Snapcaster Mage actually probably a lot better for us. We are going to find ourselves a Snapcaster Mage. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Dang. Okay, it resolved. Thank you, opponent, for being very gracious. Should not have done that pre-combat. Cryptic Command. Cryptic Command. Say it with me, everyone. Cryptic Command. Play around itself. Play around it. How many turns did I play around Cryptic Command this game? This match even. I played around it game 1. I'm almost positive of that. And then there I'm like, Traverse, would you like to 2-for-1 me, opponent? Would you like to 2-for-1 me, or maybe get a massive tempo swing while you counter my spell? Tempo swing, not in the fact that we pay 1 mana, they pay 4, but in the fact that Mandrills doesn't get to attack, which is a very big deal. Especially when we're in this kind of race game with the opponent. We are not casting this Faithless Looting because I want Snap Denial and Snap Bolt up right now. Actually, do we have another basic island in the deck? We do. That's going to be relevant because... Actually, it's not going to be relevant. Helix? Whew, boy, they know we have Snapcaster Mage here, so I feel like they're baiting me. And they have a path. Can I win if they resolve Helix? We go to 5. That fetch is now offline. We just don't get to cast our Snapcaster Mage. I'm going to fight over this. I think it's relevant. It might not be. Maybe we're going to get blown out by a Cryptic Command here. It's entirely possible. They could have blown us out with Cryptic Command earlier, though, so I'm assuming if that was their goal, they would have done it. Let's counter this if they don't have anything to deal with it. And we're also going to hope they can't deal 4 to us. I'm assuming we're taking 3. Alright, we get to draw a card and then loot. That means we have 3 looks at good stuff. Actually, we might flash back this one. 1, 2, 3. That leaves us with 2 mana. 2 mana means Snapcaster Mage is bad. 2 mana means Snapcaster Mage is bad. I'm thinking about our outs. Denial entered the exile zone. What is it, opponent? I see blue mana. Is it actually Cryptic? Snapcaster Mage of your own. Helix. I assume that's targeting us. It might target Snapcaster Mage. Just so that their oh dear. Oh dear. We get to deal 3, but they're still gaining 3? That's bad. That's bad. Well, turns out it didn't matter. The denial there, not super relevant. I guess if I didn't denial, I would still have a Mandrills. Did they not have another Helix? They didn't. All right, we're going to take 3. They might have a Burn Spell or a Snapcaster Mage. They have a Path? No. Click. Resto, Resto. All right, opponent is saying you're very dead. However, they don't know that we have Faithless Looting. What do we got? Lightning Bolt. We're still very dead. We actually maybe should have looted with this in case both of these cards were really good. What answers do we actually have to Resto right now, though? I'm a scoop. Do I want Alpine Moon and Dismember? What am I theoretically cutting here? We're on the play. That's good. Thought Scour seems nice. Spell Snare counters a lot of good cards out of their deck. I'm going to cut a Forked Bolt. Let's do that. Board in 5 cards against Jeskai. Let's go. Actually, no, we're still boarding in 4. We're just boarding out Forked Bolt instead of Dismember. That was very much not factual. That bit at the end, though, was. Let's take on Jeskai. We got this, guys. We got this. Knock on wood. We can do it. What's a Jeskai deck? They only have a lot of really good removal, Snapcaster Mage and Restoration Angels to blink their Snapcaster Mages, Vandalion Clicks to add to the Restoration Angels and the Celestial Colonnades as clocks in the air, Nahiri as a way to get some virtual card advantage by discarding things that are bad. Also, discarding spells to Snapcaster Mage could be relevant because you still get to cast them, so it's still virtual card advantage. Nahiri also gets to just exile threats and theoretically win the game on the spot. So, what's Jeskai to us? I don't think it's a bad matchup. It's probably, I mean, I assume over a population of something like 1,000 games, 90% of our matchups hover around 50-50, 55-45, 45-55, that kind of territory. This hand has 4 lands, a cantrip, and 2 burn spells. We're gonna mulligan. This hand is significantly better. Ooh, I actually might turn 1 loot. What's on top? Alpine Moon. That's not fantastic. We're gonna bottom that because we don't know if/when they're gonna find a colonnade. I'm just gonna cast Faithless Looting here. I don't love it, but with Goyf as our 2-drop, we're going to want a land and a sorcery in the bin. Lands! We did it. We're just going to bin these 2, right? I'd rather have the Bolt than the 3rd land right now. Over to you, opponent. I guess we could bin a Lightning Bolt to make the Goyf even bigger. I don't know how good that is. Denial. I'm pretty sure we play our Goyf out on turn 2 regardlessly of finding that Stubborn Denial, so I don't think I care that changes whether or not I want the 3rd land. Sometimes I'll hold on to my threat if I know I'm going to have 3 lands and then counter back up. I don't think this is one of those times. Well, that just makes me want to find a way to run that wall over. Wall of Omen's pretty good. Visions doesn't grow Tarmogoyf. If we, you know what, we're going to swing here. We are not casting Serum Visions just yet. In with Goyf, I assume they just block immediately. Yep, cool. That means we get to bolt it, and suddenly Goyf's a 4/5. Guess how much power you need to enable Ferocious. Says 4. It says 4. Field of Ruin actually might end up hurting our mana. I wouldn't be too surprised if they did this on our end step. Never mind. Do I play that out and get a Steam Vents? 1 Steam Vents is already gone, but if they take out our Steam Vents, we can still grab an island. Notably, Mountain is gone. I think that's a pretty big deal. They're hoping we drew a basic here. Do I care to bolt them? I don't think so, but I am going to be defiant. Let's grab... Oh, we're cut off of red mana. No, we can totally get Steam Vents, right? It's here somewhere. right there. Alright, so if we're getting steam vents, we want forest. Thank you for informing my decision, opponent. I appreciate that very much. Also, joke's on you, I now have double green in my draw step. Well, access to double green in our draw step. We're not tapping that forest. What double green instants do we need? I'm not sure. I'm not sure they exist, let alone we want to... Okay, there's a pretty good chance that double green instants do in fact exist. These are both okay, right? I'm fine with having Deprive. I kind of want it after Pyromancer because Pyromancer, but I also kind of want it before to try to keep Goyf alive. I'm going to go Pyromancer first. We're not going to play out that land. We are going to hold up Denial, and we're probably not casting that Lightning Bolt until either Goyf is dead or Denial's out of our hand. The opponent fixed their mana. Field of Ruin is really good. I'm glad they printed that card. That is A+. Much better for decks that want that kind of effect than Ghost Quarter. We're going to get got by a lot of things here. Smells like that's one of the things. There's Dispel. Do I want to search my library? It's a May. That's going to resolve. I got to hurry up. We got Pyromancer on top. We're not going to get a land. We are going to speed up. We're also going to play this now that I might want to find a stomping ground in both the opponent's face. I play pretty slowly. Granted, we're playing against a control deck and we're in game 3, so I don't feel that bad about it. Opponent doesn't do anything. We're just going to untap here. Take a draw. Deprive. I knew about that, so I shouldn't be surprised. But I'm going to be honest here. I wasn't thinking about the fact that I have Deprive on top of my deck. I'm actually pretty happy to see that. I'm pretty sure on their end step, I'm going to grab a Stomping Ground and bolt them. Helix. Helix me? You got it. You want to Helix me? That's fine. You want to Helix my Pyromancer? That's where I draw the line. Maybe I should have gone for the bolt right there. Or at least gone for the Stomping Ground. Stomping Ground is gone. Stomping Ground is gone. Alright, we're not bolting because I want to keep Deprive up. See, if I recognize that Stomping Ground was got, we have access to 1 red. Mountain, Steam Vents, Stomping Ground. Yeah, we have access to 1 red. That's bad. That is very bad. I have talked about how in the Faithless Looting version of this deck, I prefer having more red sources. We don't have many red sources. Bolting face. Well, if that's the game we're playing, opponent, that's the game we're playing. Our opponent is trying to be very nice to us, and they're going to burn us out so that we don't time out, which I feel like is a much better way to go, being burned out. Alright, Pyromancer got a lot worse here. Electrolyze. Verdict. Well, let me tell you about the counter spells in my hand. They don't deal with that. Need more Spell Queller. Traverse, that's online. We have plenty of green. Let's get a fatty. It's probably going to be named Tarmogoyf. We can't cast Huntmaster. We're getting Goyf because of Colonnade. I don't have anything up, so I'm going to hit 6. They're bolting our face. I assume this... Oh, I'm just dead. They have Colonnade. GG's opponent. GG's opponent. To be fair, we kind of tipped them off that we're dead, but I'm assuming they're going for it here. They've been trying to kill us very aggressively. Do I just scoop? I may as well just scoop. Alright, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope to see you in the next one.